testing and automation and CI/CD, wouldn't it be awesome if we can just have a CI pipeline running our tests for us and us not having to execute any commands? And so that's what we're going to tackle in the next section, where we're going to set up our CI system. We're going to use GitHub Workflows, also known as GitHub Actions, for this. I personally like GitHub Workflows because first, it integrates into GitHub automatically. Second, it's absolutely free. And third, out of all the CI tools that I've used, from Jenkins, VSTS, Azure DevOps, Travis, Circle CI, this one is my favorite. I think it's been the easiest to use and the easiest to integrate into. The way GitHub Actions works is basically it works on a YAML file that's added to our repository. And so this whole thing right now is really an exercise for you to do. Follow these instructions here, and you should be following it on your forked repository, right? So hopefully you took this repository here, you're signed in with your GitHub account. Hopefully you click fork. Nice, I see 87 forks, which makes me happy. It seems like we're very close to the number of people participating. And you pull this fork down onto your local computer. And you're going to be following these instructions to create a CI pipeline. So follow along. I'll leave them up here, and then we'll kind of go through them together if it doesn't work out. It's actually super easy. You'll see there's already a GitHub Workflows folder there. And actually, I realize you guys might already have a charity.ci.yaml. So rename this. Call it your CI2.yaml or something, so that you're actually doing the work yourself. So call it CI2.yaml. You can name it whatever you want, and then paste this code in there. And then when you push this code up into GitHub, it's going to start executing the CI pipeline. So while you do that, I'm going to kind of cover the different aspects of this pipeline here and explain them. Up here at the top is we're providing a name to our CI pipeline. It shows up whenever our actions are running. I'll show you what that looks like. We have a screener API key, source username, and source access key. Now, these are environment variables that are going to be used in our CI pipeline. Screener we get from Screener.io. Source username and access key we get from Sauce Labs. And I'll show you where to store those in a moment. I just want to finish covering this so that everybody can see it and kind of make it work. Here it says that on push to the main branch and on pull request to the main branch, this pipeline will run. You can configure this in many different ways. And then here it says this is the job that it's going to run. It's going to run on Ubuntu latest. It supports Windows, Mac, and Linux. We're running on Node version 14. So this is what we're putting in here. And then here are the steps that are going to use. First is going to check out our code, and is going to use the Node version that we've specified up here. You can actually make this into multiple Node versions if you want. If you want to target 14 and 16, for example, you can just put 16 in here, and then this will run on 2 Node versions. Next, we are installing our dependencies. This is kind of the same thing that we were doing in our local host, which we were navigating to our directory. And then here, normally we would do npm install. However, in CI, it's actually faster to do npm CI. And so that's why we're running the npm CI command. You can do npm install command too. Then we're building our application. Same exact thing we did locally. We're just repeating this in the CI pipeline. However, the difference here is we're doing npm run build instead of npm start. The reason we run npm build is because when we do npm start, you can see I have this little plugin here, React DevTools. It's actually saying that this is not the development build of React. This is only for kind of coding purposes, right? And so you want to build your application into code that can be used inside of the CI pipeline. So that's the npm run build command. When you actually build, there will appear a folder here that's called like build, and then that's where kind of like all the important source code is for that build, for the application. So it doesn't, like, for example, take all the files that are necessary. Like, it'll exclude non-dev dependencies because we don't need that in our production build. Then we're starting the application. You've seen this before. The only difference is now we're just adding a wait command to wait up to 60 seconds to let our application, give our application time to come up. And then finally, we are running our functional UI tests, which we all coded together. Everything is very similar. The only difference is we're running this npm run sci-ci command. Let me show you exactly where that comes from. We can't do npx cypress open here because npx cypress open opens up that UI, and we don't need that UI in our CI pipeline. We want it to happen automatically. And so we're bypassing that with another command I'll show you. I wrap this command in our package JSON. So in our package JSON, you can see here I have a sci-ci command, and it's simply a Cypress run. So it's exactly the same thing if I would just do npm npx Cypress run. It'll run the test headlessly without the UI, which is exactly what we want. Not only headlessly, but it doesn't have that UI that we need to interact with. And so that's exactly what it's doing here, and exactly what we need in our CI system. And then that's it. And then it should run, right? So let me do this for you all so that you all can see what should happen. Copy this, paste it. And we renamed the event testing for good after I did a bunch of the documentation. So that's why I'm changing testing for good. Sounds better. Cool. So that's that. Let me see what changes I have here. Oh, it's okay. Well, I'm not going to add these changes. So let's do. So you're going to obviously add it, and then you're going to commit it. Add new CI pipeline. So hopefully everyone saw I put it into this GitHub Workflows folder. I just copied it. You were basically doing the same thing. We just pushed it up. Looks like I'm missing some changes. Let me sync it. Okay, it's fine. And let's go back here. And if we go into Actions, now you can see that here we have a workflow that's running called Testing for Good. You can see there's 3. That's because we have 3 separate files. But if I just navigate here, this is the one that's being executed. I should have disabled the other ones so that they're not all running, but it's okay. So here it's running. You can go inside. You can click in here, and you'll see the steps being executed. So here you'll see no dependencies, installing dependencies. It should be relatively quickly, everything. Building the app, starting the app. You can see it showing that there's our application available. Running functional UI tests, it doesn't actually need this information, but you'll see here Cypress is starting. Failed to connect to the bus. Okay, I don't know what that is, but let's see if it works. Perfect. So, oh, it's going to run visual tests too. Oops, it's okay. You guys don't have visual tests yet because we didn't add it. I just copied and pasted files. So you can see here, ultimately, all the work we did. What do we put for the secrets? If you want to know how to set the secrets, they were in the documentation here, which I lost. 1 second. Testing for charity and CI/CD. Here is how to set the user repository secrets. I have the steps here. 1, follow these steps. 2, 3. I'll show that in a moment as well. So here's all the Cypress tests. You can see our tests that ran. Here it's showing that 3 tests were executed, 3 were passing. It did run in the solution spec.js for me because I never wrote actual tests in the exercise spec. But if you wrote tests and committed them in exercise spec, you're going to have 6 tests that executed, 1 from exercise spec, 1 from solution spec. And let's talk about the, don't worry about the visual tests. We'll tackle those in a moment. Let's talk about the username and access, the environment variables. So you come to settings in GitHub, secrets, new repository secret. Click that, enter whatever you want to call it, right? Whatever. Okay, user name. To be honest, up until this point, you don't even need these. So if you want to remove them from your CI/CD pipeline, you can, if that's extra work for you. But I wanted to share that because it's an important part of testing in a CI pipeline. And then you can see that I've saved 3. Let me finish here. You put your name here and then the value in here, and then you just click the add button. And you can see I have mine here with the information inside of it. And then we reference those using this secrets variable from GitHub Actions. It says just use secrets and then just say the name of your variable. And the value that comes back from here will be stored in this environment variable. And we're using this through visual testing. We're using this information for visual testing, which we haven't gotten to yet. I just put it in here to avoid trouble, but I see how it can cause some confusion. If you don't want to use secrets right now because you don't have them or don't care to set them, just remove this part and save it, and then it'll run without worrying about the secrets. So I'll just kind of walk through again the high-level overview. Starting a workflow, it's just pushing a new YAML file into your repository. So when you, let's update this, testing for good 2, okay? So you added your new YAML file and you put in the correct code in there. And in fact, let's not confuse you all. We can remove this if we don't want to. We don't want it. And we can remove these visual tests. Okay, you've done and you saved it. Now you just push it up to your repo. Let me see. Another one. Once you push it up, it automatically starts running. That's what's super cool about it. The fact that it automatically starts running is because we said that on push to the main branch, it'll automatically start running. If you're working out of another branch, you would just put that branch name in there. You can even create a pull request. It'll run on pull requests as well when you're trying to do a pull request into main. And yeah, when you push it up, like I just pushed up, you can see testing for good. What happened? Merge branch field. Oh, let me see. What happened? Did it not push up? Wait, why is it 9 minutes ago? I don't know why it's not running now. Oh, you know what I've seen sometimes in my workshops, I'll push stuff up and then it takes a while to kick off for some reason. It always happens in my workshops. And then I'm like, what's going on? That could be an issue for some. I definitely have seen it like in multiple workshops where I'll push something up and it won't run. You know, the other thing you can do if you want to run it is you can create a new branch. And you can update this. Let me see, good 2. Let's do testing for good 3. Oh, you know what it could be too? This. Save that. Cool, all looks good. And then we'll add it. This one will be CI3. And then we'll push it up. Set up new upstream branch. So there's our new branch. And now we should be able to do a PR. And create PR. And now let's see if it has some stuff running. Yeah, there it goes. So see how now we have a testing for good 3 that's running. Awesome. Larry, happy to hear that. You can see that here in our PR, we have this one running. These are from, this one is from another workshop I've done. This one is the current one that I have in there, and this is the new one I created with you all. That's why I was naming it differently. You can see it from here. This is the pull request view, or you can see it from an actions view. In the actions view, the 3 files or however many files you have set up in your folder here in GitHub Workflows, in this folder right there, I have 3. So I have 3 pipelines that are going to run now, but they're only running because every single one of them is running on pull request to main. And so if I change that, only one would run. Just need to update. And so now testing for good. You can see my new running. Cool.
We also have a question from Harsh. Can you please explain npx wait on the timeout in the git CI file? Can we override default wait for timeout declared in the framework?
Oh, yeah. This command is put to wait on our application to start. So building our app takes a little bit of time, right? And I forget what the default time to wait in the CI system, but let's say it's like 5 seconds and your application is taking longer than 5 seconds to start, then your CI pipeline will fail and then say, I wasn't able to build the app or something like that. It would be a failure. And so you want to put this in there to give your application some time to build, especially if it's a larger web application. It's going to wait for it to build. It has nothing to do with testing, and it's only to do with the CI pipeline waiting on this command there. Hope that makes sense. I'm just gonna, for everyone that's struggling here, I'm just gonna do a quick 1-minute overview of the steps to make it happen from start to finish. I see a lot of people able to run it, which is awesome. So, okay, you fork the repository from this is my repo, fork it to your account. You git clone your version of my repository, okay? And then you're gonna follow the steps here. You're gonna follow the steps to add a new YAML file to this folder. You can delete everything else that's in there. Don't even keep the other files. Create a brand new file in there and paste this code in there. Okay, and you don't have to do anything else. Just paste this code in there. And actually, don't even. I'm gonna fix this right now. I'm gonna make it simpler because I know this can cause issues. I'm getting rid of this there. Perfect. So you just copy and paste this without the environment variables into your new file that you created locally. Okay, you won't even need to do this step anymore. Now just git push up to your repo, and it's automatically going to start. If it doesn't, my hunch is something is up with GitHub. I've seen that before. If you're working out of a branch, you need to make sure that you update the values to your branch. So push requests, you want to put your branch here, your branch. Pull requests, they'll be to main, so that's okay.